Hello, today's the anniversary of the publication in 1962 of Bob Dylan's first album, just called Bob Dylan. And he sung a number of songs, almost all of them written by other people. But there's a kind of common theme in the lyrics that he chose to sing about. See that my grave is kept clean, fixing to die, for example. And death seems to be a theme running through these songs. Man of constant sorrow is another, and in my time of dying. And one of Dylan's biographers suggests that in the following the publication of that CD, when he went to live in Greenwich and mixed among other writers and other of the kind of hip generation of the 60s, that year 62 to 63 was a year when he was obsessed with dying and working through his own sense of mortality. So that when his next disc came out in 1963, Freewheeling Bob Dylan, now these songs are almost all written by him. He often took tunes from other people and adapted them, made them his own, but the words, the lyrics were entirely his. And now he's still looking at life in a fairly sort of grim kind of way, but the emphasis on mortality and on our human frailty has now become a cry for justice. He is really upset by the way in which the world is going. It's a world where we're just about to have the Cuba crisis, which was a crisis when it seemed as though a nuclear war might break out. Death might not just come to him, but to the whole world. And the Vietnam War was going on, a time of real crisis of conscience for many Americans. And he says that I gazed into the grey mist with tear-blinded eyes. And out of that time on Freewheeling Bob Dylan came some of his best-known songs. Masters of War, which is about the Cold War between Russia and America. Blowing in the Wind, which of course became one of the best-known protest songs there is. Hard Rain's Gonna Fall, which followed on the Cuban crisis and was about the seriousness of the build-up of nuclear weapons in Russia and America. So the sense that there was a kind of mortality for himself and for the world could have turned him in on himself. But actually what it did was to release a longing for justice and for a better world, which of course has inspired many others through his songs. And I think for me, that being realistic about our human frailty and about our mortality is really important. I think we shouldn't run away from the knowledge that we are all going to die, some earlier than others, and there's enormous sadness in that. But that should not lead us to any kind of sense of being desperate or being just wanting to live for now. It should lead us, as it led Dylan, into a passionate need to work for a better world, a more just society, and to turn our awareness of our own mortality into an inspiration to make the world a better place.